This is Golf with Jay Delsing. A two-time All-American at UCLA. Competed in nearly 700 PGA Tour events, 7 professional wins to his credit. Over 30 years of professional golf experience. A member of the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame and the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. It's time to tee it up. News from the world of golf. We're on the range with Jay and Dan.
Welcome into Golf with Jay Delsing. With Jay Delsing, I'm Dan McLaughlin, and Golf with Jay Delsing heard every Sunday morning from 8 to 10. A couple of great guests coming up. We'll visit with Ian Woosnam, a World Golf Hall of Famer, winner of 52 professional events worldwide, and that included the 1991 Masters. He'll be our guest. Also, Alonzo Byrd, Director of Business Development and Community Engagement with the Ascension Charity Classic. We're just about a little over a month away from the Ascension Charity Classic. Jay, good morning to you, and you better be ready for the Ascension Charity Classic. Let's go.
I'm ready. Danny, it's great to be with you. Oh, man, I mean, we got some great stuff to break down and unpack on this show. Ian Woosnam. So, guys, this is what's so cool. Ian Woosnam was one of what the Fab Five or the Big Five on the European golf stage. So check this out. Ian Woosnam, Seve Ballesteros, Bernard Langer, Sandy Lyle, and Nick Faldo were all born within 12 months of one another. They basically are responsible for turning out and the European tour as it was. Forget about all their great Ryder Cups. Forget about all their majors. Sandy Lyle and Woosie grew up, 10 minutes from one another. So it's just really, really interesting. And the guy's won over 50 times around the world. He's 5'5", and he also won the Masters, and he's a World Golf Hall of Famer, man. It's super, super cool.
Back in the day, 5'5", and absolutely bombing the golf ball. It was amazing at his size to be able to do that.
I'm a foot taller than he is.
And
he just,
bombing it past you or what?
Bombing it past me just pissed me off.
So, how, it begs a question. If you're out there listening, you're going, now, wait a minute. Jay is 6'6".
Yeah, 6'5".
6'5", well.
Probably headed the wrong direction. Maybe 6'4" by now.
You might be 6'3".
6'3" at the end of this show.
And Woosnam is 5'5", and he's hitting it past you. How does that happen? How in the world does that happen?
I don't know. I used to ask myself all the time, and now I look at Rory, who's 5'9", and drives it, 150 yards past me. So it was a question I got over quickly, but it was more about, Woosie was tough. Woosie was a tough player. He was a hard-nosed competitor, and I never got to play with him. I had a couple lunches with him and things like that, always entertaining and kind of almost a little brawler. He was a gritty player, I guess I should say.
I think one of the things I definitely want to ask him is how a major, and in particular the Masters, which he won, as I mentioned, back in 1991, how that changes your standing in golf, how it changes your life. You're always known the rest of your life as the winner of the 1991 Masters. That's an incredible title to have next to your name.
Has to be unbelievable. I mean, has to just be unbelievable. And now, and as we segue into the Open Championship, Danny, think about Xander Schauffele started this year wondering, am I ever going to win a major? And now look, he's got 2 up on the mantle. And Danny, when you start going from 1 major to 2, you're going to an entirely different stratosphere. Now we start talking about World Golf Hall of Fame. We start talking about, why are we capping him at 2 anyway?
Exactly. Once you win that first one, I would assume, once you learn how to win, not that it becomes easier, but you understand how to sleep on a lead at a major championship. You understand the pressure down the stretch. You're able to handle that. I would assume you would know better than I, having won multiple tournaments professionally, that once you learn how to do that, it makes it a little bit easier.
100%. It's never easy like you're saying. But here's the thing. In your mind, you've already got it done. You've accomplished this. You've tackled Everest. So you can do it again. It's possible. Until you knock that off, there's always that question in there, Danny. It's so difficult. And man, I got to tell you what, we could talk for 3 hours about Royal Troon and what happened this past weekend, man. And I thought Shane Lowry was going to be really, really hard to beat. And I was shocked at the way that unfolded, but how ironic. On the shortest hole in major championship history, the postage stamp number 8 at Royal Troon is the unraveling of Shane Lowry. And I got to tell you, there's something about watching Shane. I've only met him a couple of times. I just love him.
I do too.
He kind of tells it like it is. He kind of throws a 4-letter word here and there and stuff that could totally.
But he's likable. He's like all of us.
He's a little chubby like the rest of us.
Right.
He likes to go out and have a drink every once in a while too. I mean, I just love that. I love what he said after having the lead after 36 holes. He goes, "Well, it's Dad's birthday, so we're gonna have a party." I'm like, the Irish just want a party. I mean, my mom was 100% Irish, so I'm 50% Irish. I know the McLaughlins are strongly Irish, so they're just fun-loving people, and it was really interesting. And then Saturday, man.
Have you seen the course play or any course play as hard as that back nine on Saturday? Have you seen that? I mean, the British Open is always going to be a challenge because of the weather, the wind, all those things, the rain. But Scotty Scheffler said that was the hardest nine he's ever played, the back nine at Royal Troon.
Danny, I played in the 1992 U.S. Open at Pebble Beach when after I was 4 under par after 6 holes on Sunday, I wound up shooting 77. The wind.
Wait. 77, and you were 4 under to start.
4 under after 6.
After 6.
So I only had 12 holes left.
Wow.
So I played my last 12. Do the math. 5 over, 9 over. My last 12. Danny, I did finish triple bogey, which if I go par, I make it into Augusta. I'm over it or I remember anything or any of that. But D, I walked up to the 17th tee at Pebble Beach, and the wind was blowing 40 miles an hour into you from the left. Hardest wind. Flagstick way left on that green, and we had 247 yards.
Par 3. Yep. 247.
I'm like, look at my caddy. I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
We don't have one for that.
What was the key with Schauffele? What did you see as he was masterful in that final day, and it just seemed like he was, surgical in how he was going around the course. It was just amazing to see it.
100%, Danny. He was so in the moment and so stayed within himself, just played his own game. His hitting stats, Danny, he's up there with Scheffler all of a sudden. His prowess with controlling the golf ball is gone crazy. He's increased his club head speed by 5 miles an hour over the last little while, and that is incredibly hard to do. But what was most impressive, he was just unflappable. Not everything was going in. He had lots and lots of great looks. Didn't make a birdie, I don't think, until like the 5th or 6th hole, and just stayed so steady, and then came to the hardest part of that golf course. 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Those are the 5 hardest holes on the golf course. He just took them down.
Do you think
just absolutely destroyed it?
Where do you put him now? Is Scotty Scheffler is the world number 1. However, you look at what Schauffele has done. In the majors, he had 2 top 10s, now 2 wins. The only players to ever do that, Palmer, Nicklaus, Player, Watson, Woods, Spieth, and now Xander Schauffele. You make a case if there was a major next week, who would you bet on?
Absolutely.
I mean, he might be the guy right now.
Absolutely. Would I there was so much that I saw that was so weird. I can't get Scotty Scheffler's tee shot on 18 out of my head. He hit it like 85 yards or something,
crazy.
Didn't he?
Yeah, it was crazy.
What? I don't know if he lost the grip. I don't know what happened, but I was just, let's get back to Schauffele because all props to him. I mean, I loved how he waited for his caddy, Austin Riley, on 18 and went up there and walked that last walk. Danny, that last walk is so special. I got to walk it not as a champion, but just as a competitor, and it was you just look around and those great golf fans over there, I mean, they're very, very pro-Euro. There's no question about it, but they love their golf. They love their champion golfer of the year, and it was really super fun to watch that. I thought it was great to see Justin Rose have such a strong finish. Now, he went and qualified, the week before, which is really super impressive, but played well, hung in there well. Billy Horschel kind of came out of nowhere.
Sure did.
What do you think of that putting routine?
It's hard to watch.
It's almost like he's sneaking up on the ball.
It is. He's like
don't tell anybody.
Tiptoeing and a little bit.
Or getting ready to putt.
Yeah. How about Justin Rose when he knows in the back nine on Sunday, he knows he's got to go for it, and he's hitting driver off the deck. I enjoyed seeing that. You just don't see that very often.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's interesting. I loved what he said afterwards because he was so appreciative of the finish. Here's a second-place finish. I know he wanted to win desperately, but he also said there were plenty of tears, where he realized, he's 43 years old, Danny.
Exactly.
I mean, is it come to an end? I mean, we've talked on this show repeatedly about how difficult it is to win a major championship after 30. And he's 43, and he's got the one major, the U.S. Open Championship. So when you go from one major to two majors, it's almost automatic Hall of Fame nod. Almost automatic Hall of Fame nod. So you're really starting to wonder if we've seen the last of Justin Rose in major championship contention. I don't know.
It shows you how hard the British Open is when JT has a lead and he's playing so well, and then just absolutely blows up the rest of the tournament. That was just...
He shot 45.
It was crazy,
man. He
went
out and shot 68 the first day, and then 45. I'm like, holy... His two rounds were 68, 77, 67, 78.
How about how the course changes, though, even for guys that go off early to the guys that are going off in the afternoon?
That's what I was going to say, Danny. And it changes from day to day. I mean, you saw one day the guys were hitting driver in a 6 or 7 iron into a par 4, and the next day they were almost driving it because the winds had switched around. And also, one of the biggest things was the guys that were off early on Saturday had almost a 4 or 5 shot difference in how hard the golf course played. And that's just, there's nothing you could do about it. That happens occasionally. It reminds me of the last time we were at Royal Troon. Phil Mickelson and Henrik Stenson put on an exhibition.
Back and forth.
Stenson won by 3 over Mickelson, got to 20 under par at Troon. And Mickelson was 17 under par, 11 shots clear of third place. I mean, that never happens. That's incredible. But Danny, in that championship, about 85% of the players making the cut came from that wave that Phil and Henrik enjoyed. And so the guys on the opposite end of the draw, wow, did they get whacked.
Where are we at with Tiger? Tough to watch. Again, tough to watch. And Colin Montgomery had some comments that he came out. He said he shouldn't be playing, essentially. I'm paraphrasing, that this is not a spot that he should be playing at. Don't tarnish his image. Don't tarnish what he's done in his career. I didn't necessarily agree with it, Jay, because I'll still watch Tiger. I don't care if he is plus 20. I'm still watching him hit the golf ball, and he might do something magical. Maybe he puts in a hole-in-one. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe he does something I haven't seen on a golf course.
Yep.
I'm still going to watch, and that's why I still enjoy watching him play in the majors.
100%. I mean, listen, it's his life and his prerogative. He's earned that. So I don't want to see him stop. I mean, I would certainly love to see him play better, but Danny, I don't think
it's not there anymore.
I don't think it's there. I don't think he can literally, physically do it. I think it's this. He's so physically limited, and it's so limiting that I think the prep just absolutely wears him out, and then by the time he's got to walk, he probably winds up walking, 5.5 rounds for that week of the championship. He's spent.
What does it say about American golfers right now? First time since 1982 that they sweep the Masters, the PGA, the U.S. Open, the British, because you had Scheffler win the Masters, Schauffele wins the PGA and the British, and then DeChambeau, the U.S. Open. What do you think that says about American golf right now, if anything? Is it a little luck of the draw, just guys getting hot at the right time, or is there something more to it?
Well, what it
it's
makes
kind of a
me
tough
think,
question,
right? But Danny, I think it's kind of a fun one to kick around, because it starts making me think of Liv, and starts making me think of, maybe it's the passing of the Euro torch. We had Sergio that was forever in the mix. We had Lee Westwood that was forever a great player over there. We had
John Rahm.
We had Ian Poulter.
Yep.
And Rahm's coming off that foot injury, which was much more significant than we knew at the U.S. Open. And he had a decent showing. He had a nice showing.
Made a little run in the final day.
15, 18th, something like that, where he finished. But it makes you wonder, Rory was just never right. I mean, I'm just going to point to Pinehurst and say that's a major hangover. I mean, I know he finished well in the Scottish Open, but that's not the British. That's not a major championship, and that is not Royal Troon.
No, it's not.
No, and then you look at Tyrrell Hatton, who was definitely an up-and-comer that you used to watch and root for and go, well, I just don't know if – here's the thing that I want to ask you. Is Liv helping any of these guys?
No. Absolutely not. I
agree.
It's an exhibition. It still have to look at it as an exhibition.
And Danny, what a huge disappointing year from Brooks Koepka. I mean, this is a big game hunter. 5 major championships. Got the PGA Championship last year, and for all intents and purposes, we thought he was going to get the Masters ahead of that, right?
Absolutely.
He was disappointing, and it didn't really show up for any of these majors this year.
Okay, I got a fun question. From your perspective, 30 years on the PGA Tour, rank the majors. You got the Masters, PGA.
That's like which kid do you love the most?
U.S. Open and British. So you get to you win one. What's the best one to win from your perspective?
Of all, I take any 4.
Oh,
you can see these fingers. Take them.
Yeah.
Or what appendage do you need? Take them, because I would give it all for that. It would be super special. All right. Oh, this is going to be tough, but here we go. I'm going to say the U.S. Open is going to have a tiny bit of favor in my mind ahead of the Masters and the PGA Championship, which are tied for first 1B.
Okay,
I don't know.
Okay.
So 1B, and then the Open.
You're like Tony La Russa over here, tied for first.
I know. How does the Open Championship finish last? But I mean, Danny, I don't know, man. I would take any of them, but I'm going to say that the Open, the U.S. Open, the PGA and Augusta are all right there, neck and neck, and then the British. And if the British was the one that I got, I would be so elated. Yep. I mean, to conquer it over where golf originated, crazy golf. If you win the British Open title, you are a gritty, tough competitor, because you battled nature. You battled those crazy bounces and the bunkering and all that other stuff. So I would take any of them. That's what I'm going with, though. Okay,
time to tip our cap. By the way, later in the show, we're going to go through, if you're planning a golf vacation, we'll give you some of the best spots to go. Jay has figured out from east to west, north to south, where to go. So we'll rank some of those on where to go, best trips for golf. Also, if you join us a little late, Ian Woosnam will be our guest. Tip of the cap, though, because we're going to have Alonzo Byrd coming up. He's the Director of Business Development and Community Engagement with the Ascension Charity Classic. We're going to tip our cap to Norwood Hills. And the reason we're going to do that is because we're a little over a month away from the Ascension Charity Classic. And if you go out there, if you have a chance to play out there, you're lucky enough, you're going to start seeing the grandstands go up. You're going to see some of the really cool things that this place does as opposed to other places on the Champions Tour that you just don't see. So let's tip our cap to Norwood Hills.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this tip of the cap. And the tip of the cap is brought to you by the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, and we so appreciate their help and support. 314-966-0303. That's Colin Burnt. That's Bill Dean. Those guys are are great people. They'll treat you like family. Go get any sort of vehicle. I know it says Volkswagen. They'll do anything for you. Norwood Hills. Okay, where do we start, Danny? Let's start with the golf shop staff. Brandon Smith. Smitty has done a phenomenal job. You got Kyle, you got Will, you got Matt, you've got Jody, you've got just a great staff over there doing all they can do to make your golf experience great. You go in the clubhouse, you got Dane who's running everything. Dane Laird, he's our general manager. You've got John Wright, who's handling membership and a lot of the things that are going on over there. We've had a nightmare situation with the pool that they've rectified and done a great job with. And then when you get on the golf course itself, Danny, you got Mike Knoll and his staff, 36 holes of just, I tell everybody, there's not a better golf value in town, period. Norwood's got 36 holes, no tee times, and you will not find two better conditioned golf courses around. So thank you for all of the guys at Norwood. I love being over there. I got there in 1973, which is, they should have kicked me out a long time ago, Danny. 1973, man. You'd have thought I wore my welcome out by then, but I love it. I appreciate the Dean team of Volkswagen support. And that's our buddy Colin Burnt, and their number is 314-966-0303. All
right, we'll find out what's going on with the Ascension Charity Classic coming up. Alonzo Byrd will be our guest, and this is Golf with Jay Delsing.
That was On the Range. Up next, we'll head to the front nine. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing, presented by Doherty Business Solutions.
Doherty Business Solutions has been enhancing the business of our customers for the last 37 years. How do we do it? Through our expertise in technology, better use of data and analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. We roll up our sleeves and collaborate. We build applications and effectively communicate with our partner clients to bring their goals and objectives to the finish line. Our award-winning Access Point program is a community game changer. With nearly 100 students in the program, mostly young African-American females are making between $55,000 and $60,000 per year right out of high school. That's right, $55,000 to $60,000 a year right after high school graduation. That's when they begin their training. CEO Ron Daugherty believes the talent is equally distributed, but access to that opportunity is not. So here's Access Point, providing more and more opportunity for those in and around our community. It's Daugherty Business Solutions.
Get ready to watch the legends of golf up close when they compete at historic Norwood Hills Country Club right here in St. Louis. The Ascension Charity Classic will be back again with some of golf's greatest names. Steve Stricker, Padraig Harrington, John Daly, David Duval, Bernard Longer, Justin Leonard, David Toms, and more will compete returning September 3rd through the 8th. Visit AscensionCharityClassic.com for information.
Are you driving an out-of-warranty car? It's only a matter of time before your out-of-warranty vehicle is in the shop costing you thousands of dollars. Auto repair costs are up nearly 20% from last year, which is 4 times the rate of inflation. If an unexpected breakdown happened today, would you be ready for that? Well, now you can be with a plan through CarShield. Even if your car is just over 3 years old, it's still prone to expensive costs. Your car is more than just getting you from point A to point B. Traveling by car is a way of life. From picking up your kids to going to a new restaurant, cars are a daily essential. When you enroll in a car protection plan through CarShield, you can look forward to the following. The price will never go up no matter how many claims you file, or no matter how high the mileage on your car increases. CarShield offers protection plans that start as low as $100 per month. That's $100 per month. They have repair coverage for up to 5,000 different parts of your vehicle. Plus, when your car breaks down and you're stuck on the side of the road, you get 24/7 coast-to-coast roadside assistance. You also get complimentary towing and rental car options. CarShield has my back when my car breaks down, and they can have yours too. Call CarShield today at 800-465-6550 or visit carshield.com. It's CarShield, proud sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
Hi, this is Peter Jacobson, and you're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
I'm delighted to welcome the Amateur Players Tour to the Golf with Jay Delsing show. The APT team has worked so hard to establish a national golf tour for amateurs. Folks, don't miss out on this opportunity. If you love golf and ever wondered what all the fuss about tournament golf is, then this tour is for you. We just released the 2024 schedule, and it is a beast. There's 21 events currently in the metropolitan St. Louis area, with many more to come. But check out these golf courses: Paynes Valley, Ozark National, Stonewolf, Ambrier, Persimmon Woods, Gateway National, and a 36-hole event on Norwood's West Course, and many more. Okay, so the courses are certainly cool and nice, but what's really neat is the way the events are run and how they are run. The APT team does a fantastic job of closely monitoring handicaps and ensuring a good and fair competition. There are 5 divisions, a year-long points competition, major championships, elevated events, and much, much more. Right now, there are over 6,000 members in 41 different local chapters across the country, and all that's happened in just over 5 years. Join now and don't miss out on the best tournament golf in the country, run for amateurs by amateurs themselves. Go to amateurplayerstour.com. That's amateurplayerstour.com.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing. The Front Nine is presented by the Ascension Charity Classic. To find out more, visit ascensioncharityclassic.com.
Golf with Jay Delsing rolls on this Sunday morning on 101 ESPN. And again, the show is heard every Sunday, 8 to 10. We're coming to you from the CarShield Studios, and we're brought to you by Darty Business Solutions. That's Jay Delsing. I'm Dan McLaughlin. In studio with us, Alonzo Byrd, Director of Business and Community Engagement with the Ascension Charity Classic. A lot of business development going on right now, Alonzo, as we're not that far away, are we?
No, Dan. I think we're about maybe 44 days out from the tournament, and we are putting everything in place. I think our construction guys are going to be out in the next couple of weeks, starting to build grandstands and the like, and we're ready to go. We're raring to go.
It's exciting. I can't wait.
Oh, my gosh, I am too. Alonzo, thanks for coming into the studio. So for the folks that don't, a lot of times, even myself was guilty when I was playing all the time. You roll in town, everything is just roses, everything is beautiful, but the behind the works, the work that goes behind the scenes, it's a lot, isn't it?
It really is. My old CEO Andy Taylor used to say it's sausage making, all the pieces that have to come together for that week in September really begins the minute we close out the current tournament. We start right away with thinking about, first of all, assessing, what worked well, what didn't work well, what are the fans saying, what were the players' comments about how we did. And I have to, say that everything has been very positive in that regard. The players, they've often said, wow, this looks like a real PGA Tour because of our build-out. The typical PGA Tour champions build-out is 17 and 18 green. But we've got 17, 18, we've got 13, 14, 12, we have a lot. Then we have our military stand right there on the 18th fairway, which people can see the action as it's developing toward the end. So we've been very fortunate. We've had over 150 businesses and individuals support this tournament over the last 3 years. And as a result of that, we've contributed $2.6 million to local charities, with those primary charities being the Urban League of Metropolitan St. Louis, the Boys and Girls Club of Greater St. Louis, and Mary Grove. In addition to that, obviously, those who are associated and affiliated with golf, like First Tee, PGA Reach, Tee Masters, and groups like that, they've benefited from this as well. So again, this is a tournament that's all about community and having fun.
How about the announcement that you just made this past week? And so you talk about community and giving back, and that includes Folds of Honor.
Yes, for the first time, we are going to have a Folds of Honor Friday at our tournament.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and as you know from Colonel Dan Rooney, Jay, that this is all about acknowledging and respecting the commitment of our military men and women. So on that day, again, as we're going to ask everybody to wear their red, white, and blue, unlike other sports, golf is the only sport that doesn't start off with a national anthem. So I'm working with my friends over at Scott Air Force Base to make sure that we have a color guard there, someone who can render the national anthem, and some other things that are associated with it. So, but as you mentioned, Danny, this whole thing is really about charity. So by bringing Folds of Honor to our tournament, we're going to add an additional 13 scholarships, $5,000 each, to the residents of this community. And so, again, this tournament, with our over 900 volunteers that we have who help staff and bring it all together, it's going to have a tremendous impact. So we're looking forward to that.
You know what's super cool, and folks may or may not know this, but St. Louis has had a huge impact on the entire development of the Folds of Honor program. Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney talks all the time about how Anheuser-Busch has been so instrumental in supporting him, and they have special cans made each year and bottles and different things like that, specials. And the Schnooks family has been very instrumental as well. Danny, you've been doing business with the Schnooks family for years and years, and we all know them and respect and love them in our community. And the fact that Folds is coming in and we're doing this for golf, Alonzo, I think it's long overdue.
Yeah, and you're right. Anheuser-Busch and Schnooks, real big community pillars here. I have a great relationship with Todd Schnooks, and they've been very supportive of the tournament over the years. And so here's another way, to really give back to the community. I mean, we've been giving back not just monetarily, but also through skills development. One of the key parts of this tournament, too, we really kind of help to motivate and this whole thing of growing the game. And growing the game in disadvantaged communities has been a priority for us, and it has really worked. We've got some great stories to tell in that regard. And
that leads me right into the APGA, Alonzo. It's something extremely important to me. Doherty Business Solutions, who I represent and who support the show, are basically the presenting sponsor for this Advocate PGA event over at Glen Echo. So let's tell the folks a little bit about that. And it's coming up even sooner than the Ascension Charity Classic.
Sure. The Advocates Professional Golf Association, APGA, will make its third installment here in St. Louis at Glen Echo. We will kick that off with the Pro-Am on August 7th, and their tournament play will be the 8th and 9th, again, at Glen Echo. But this has been a great developmental league, and one of the beauties of the APGA tournament is that the winner gets an exemption to the Worldwide Technology Classic in Mexico. So it has a lot of relevance. Now, not bragging here, but the players tell us that we roll out the red carpet here in St. Louis like no other city or no other place where they play at. We treat them as they are, as professionals. And so the things that are typical and common, from Pro-Am gifting to accommodations, support, and things of that sort, we work really close to make this to distinguish. We've set the bar as it goes from APGA.
And it's interesting, too, because we have Worldwide Technologies, Matt Horner and Jim Kavanaugh and their group. They're huge supporters of golf, and it's always great to have a powerhouse like them behind us. But then you also talk about Doherty Business Solutions, the community. It's a group event, and for folks that don't know much about the Advocate PGA, you got to come out and check out these players, man. These guys can play.
Yes, and I think Chase Johnson might be one of those names that people might know because he won it last year, and he got into a couple of PGA events as a result of that. But again, the Doherty Business Solutions, their support has been really eminent and prominent for us. Their Access Point initiative that they are really involved with the youth in North County area and trying to support them and encourage them and to give them the tools to succeed in life. And so they've added golf as another one of those things that can add to their quality of life, their knowledge, of life and the like. And so we're very proud of Ron Doherty, what he's done, and that whole team over at Doherty Business Solutions.
Alonzo Byrd is our guest, Director of Business Development and Community Engagement with the Ascension Charity Classic. You mentioned that you take the feedback from the fans and the players and the sponsors. Let's start with the players. What's their feedback coming into now another year going into the Ascension Charity Classic?
Well, I think the feedback has been this is a great historic course to play on. And the condition that they find the course in, they often really remark about the great condition that the course is in and of itself. Now, of course, there are a couple of holes, number 2 and or number 9 in terms of where the pin placements are that they're not so crazy about. And then for those who know Norwood, number 11, how the pros play that versus us amateurs. We try to maybe stick it on the green or put it in front. Those guys hit it to the left and pitch it back up. Yeah. And it's kind of amazing to see that. And so, it's just a lot that the players talk about in terms of the fun. And they're, as you know, Danny, the players are very approachable. They're very amenable. And they enjoy playing as much as we enjoy seeing them play.
And they're involved, right? I mean, they're involved. You're going to see them on the putting challenges that we have. I think it's
the shootout.
The shootout. And the shootout that you've emceed. I guess I've emceed that as well. It's
some former players will be there, like Nancy
fun.
Lopez last year.
And we have Lee Trevino. We've had Jack Nicklaus in the past. Right. And Alonzo, our pairing party, is that Tuesday night?
Yeah, it's Tuesday, September 3rd.
Epic. The guys, there's so many pros that turn out for that because it's such a great party.
Well, again, as you mentioned, our putting challenge has been a great success over the past 2 years, and the players, they really enjoy. Like you said, Nancy Lopez was there last year with her arm in one cast and was putting one arm and was still beating most of the other people.
She's so competitive. I love her.
Exactly. And then, the KJ Choi's of the world, they love coming out and playing with those guys. So we enjoy that, and there's more to come.
Okay, how about fan feedback? What are you going to do differently or to enhance the fan experience this year?
Well, we want to make sure that fans have access, to the grounds all the way around. And so we are in our fan zone area. We make sure that we have a lot of entertaining things for them to do. We have a lot of corporate sponsors who will set up there and tell about their wares. The food trucks are really, really big in that corner there, and people love going back and forth on that. But the fans, again, we are set up public stands throughout the area for the public to actually see the action. And I think, again, just by being on the grounds and interacting with the players, the fans like, hey, we haven't been able to do this at the regular PGA tournament. So that's the difference in what we're doing there.
And Danny, also the numbers, just the sheer numbers. You and I know this a lot, Alonzo. We watch too much golf probably, but the attendance here in St. Louis it's got to be top 5, top 3 of any tournament, and we're not even a major. It's big.
Right. We do have the crowds, and they've come out each year to support us. But we like to think of this a lot of times as quality over quantity. I mean, our fans are some real golf, I don't say nerds, but they enjoy the game. They know what's happening. When Steve Flesh got hot last year and shot that 62 on the course,
there was a buzz, man.
It was buzzing all over the place, and people were rushing to that spot. Let's see this in action, and that was a great thing. And as you know, Steve is going to be here on August 1 for our press conference. So,
what would you tell a fan that's on the fence and has never been to this event, whether you're a casual golf fan or the quote-unquote nerds like we are that love the game of golf? What would you say to them to sell it and to say, hey, come on out because this is different than maybe something you're accustomed to?
Right. Well, first of all, we want to make sure that, hey, guys, this is fun. It is a fun place to be for those 3 days to actually see those pros in action. So fun is one thing. The other part is community, that this is, you are helping to support community causes here, and the issues that are going on in our neighborhoods. The main charities that we were dealing with that are the beneficiaries of it really benefit by having the tournament. So, I mean, people just need to know, hey, golf is a metaphor for life. It's all about the choices you make and things of that sort. And to see it, in our case, it's been an annual thing. You know, here in St. Louis, we're good at having a major every 5, 6, 7 years. But this tournament has been annually. So every year, you know, people can mark their calendars to come out and see the PGA Tour champions.
Alonzo, we've had great weather in the past. I think they put you in charge of the weather this year?
I'm definitely in charge of the weather.
As long as it's good, take full credit.
Yeah, that little misting that we had, I think, on the Saturday morning last year, or maybe it was Sunday morning, you know, no big deal, right? You know, players, they're geared up, and but we've been fortunate. And we're going to continue to hope and pray for the best.
So what are some of the loose ends? You mentioned it's just only, you know, over 40 days away. What are some of the loose ends that you need to make sure and tie up before this thing is ready to go?
Right. Well, we want to make sure that people know and understand that you have an opportunity to play in pro-ams at our tournament.
And that's
right?
a bucket list sort of thing. Danny and I have talked about that and been pushing it for a while, but that's a bucket list opportunity. You could play with Ernie Els. There's World Golf Hall of Famers in the field.
Yeah, I've had an opportunity to play in our pro-am, and it has really, really been amazing. You learn some things from the pros, but people need to know that is one thing. And then, again, the camaraderie that takes place at a golf tournament. When you bring your colleague, your clients, your family members, you're going to spend some quality time with them. You know, you can come for 2 hours or you can come for 3 or 4 hours, no matter what. You know, you're going to have plenty of time to reminisce and then, you know, watch some professional golf. That's what this is all about.
Are you close to tying up all the loose ends? I'm going back to it. Where are you guys?
Well, again, like I said early on, there are a lot of pieces that come into putting on this golf tournament. And I would say as far as loose ends go, we're about 85%.
Hey,
right?
That's not bad.
That's pretty dang good.
So, I mean, but we do have to get our tinning crew on the property, begin building the structures, and then I think, you know, the players are making their commitments. You know, those are things, the big names that are typically here, the Ernie Els of the world.
That's what we want to know. Who are some of the big names coming?
Well, you know, you're going to have
starting with Jay Delsing.
They're still. Well,
of course.
Well, you're going to always have the, you know, like I said, the Ernie Els, the Bernhard Lungers, the Jerry Kellys of the world,
Steve
Strickers. You know, people like that. People who are Jim Furyk. People who know golf, who are known in the golf world as being champions. And so Vijay Singh, John Daly, you know, the names just keep coming, and it really makes for some exciting golf to see these folks in person.
How about the best way then to get your tickets and to find out more about the Ascension Charity Classic?
Well, it's very, I mean, just go to www.ascensioncharityclassic.com. AscensionCharityClassic.com. All the information is there, ticketing as well. Certainly everybody, military families and all know that, you know, there's free admission for them and their families. All they just got to do is show their military ID. No problem there. But we are really, really expecting and hoping that people will come out for this year and make it the best ever.
Alonzo Marcone is a supporter of the show, but they also do the military viewing deck, and we had almost 1,500 men and women of our heroes and military folks, first responders, come out last year. So we want to we have more free tickets, man. I hope that the families of our heroes come out and watch some golf.
I'm sure they will. You know, fortunately, I'll do a little braggadocious here. I am an honorary commander at Scott Air Force Base.
Oh, very cool.
Which allows us to, you know, learn more about the base, and we tell them more about the community. And they've already said, you know, we're going to be there, you know, in big numbers this year. Certainly given the Foes of Honor Friday. So it's going to be a big day. And the folks at Marcone, we really appreciate their support. They've done this several times now, and we're looking forward to them doing it again. It's going to be a great tournament.
I got a big job for you. Not that you already don't have one. I want to fly over on Friday. If you're a Scott Air Force Base guy, let's get a flyover.
Okay, I'll have to talk with Commander Colonel Shirley about
the flagpole,
you know?
see what happens.
But yeah, I mean, you know, I think our military partners have been great, you know, in terms of supporting us. You know, one of the things we're going to do this year, we're going to have an adaptive golfer as a part of our program.
Oh, that is really cool.
Yeah, and so on that Wednesday and Thursday, this gentleman, he's actually out of Chicago, is going to come down. He's an adaptive golfer, and that'll be a first for the tournament this year. So we're looking forward to that.
How about just very quickly, ticket sales, sponsorships? Where are you guys with that?
Ticket sales are good. We could obviously use more people who want to come and visit the tournament. Again, our corporate community has been great. There are still a few that we hope will come on board. Again, we have had over 150 companies and individuals support this tournament. And again, those crucial 900 volunteers, those that Ameren sponsors, is the Ameren. They're our official volunteer sponsor. Number of kids come through our Ascension golf clinic for kids. And so, it is a total community effort, and we are most appreciative. Ascension obviously had the great idea, and they've been steadfast in making sure that this is going to be a great tournament once again.
Outstanding. We'll get you back in right before the tournament as well and get an update on all those loose ends that need to be tied up.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure I'll see you out there on the course.
You got it. That's Alonzo Byrd, Director of Business Development and Community Engagement with the Ascension Charity Classic. Golf with Jay Delsing rolls on as we come to you from the CarShield Studios.
That was the front nine. Up next, we'll make the turn. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing, presented by CarShield.
Recently, my nephew called me and said his basement had flooded and all the hardwood, carpet, and flooring had to be replaced. I told him I have the perfect place for you to go. At Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture, this second-generation family-owned business treats everyone just like their family. Jared Capps is continuing his mom and dad's 50-year business tradition where honesty, transparency, and service carry the day. My nephew loved the luxury vinyl product. Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture has the largest selection in the area. Whether you prefer Mohawk and the wide variety of their product lines, I love the Rev Wood product, by the way, or Karastan or Pergo Elements line, Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture will literally have you covered. You have pets? Let Jared tell you about the many sustainable flooring and carpet options that are pet-friendly but also easily maintained to keep your floors looking great every day. And don't forget about their huge selection of Lazy Boy recliners. They are awesome and one of the biggest selections in the Midwest. Call them today at 618-936-0536 and get your free estimate or set up a consultation with one of their experts. You can also go to jerseyvillecarpetandfurniture.net. Proud sponsor of Golf with Jay Delsing.
For the best in Italian cuisine in St. Louis, look no further than Paul Manno's, located in Chesterfield. It's traditional Italian cooking, and their best ingredient, it's their tradition. It's cooking like Paul's grandmother used to make and like his mother still prepares today. There are no corners cut at Paul Manno's. From greeting you at the door to the pasta you'll share with your family, Paul Manno's is committed to bringing you their very best anytime you share a meal at their place. It's Paul Manno's, located in Chesterfield.
Are you tired of watching your golf scores go up every year? Despite new equipment and even a couple lessons, you still fight that slice or your inability to get that ball up and down out of the bunker? Well, get ready to experience better golf with Elevate Golf. At Elevate Golf, we're changing the way golfers practice with our innovative and data-driven approach to learning and, most importantly, improving. We have an array of membership options where you can find the perfect fit for your golf, your lifestyle, and your budget. Whether you start in our full-service gym, the short game area that has real sand bunker, or one of our 7 TrackMan simulator bays, the team at Elevate Golf will do a complete assessment of you and your game, which is crucial because if you don't know where you're starting from, it's nearly impossible to attain a goal or a new level. Call us today at 636-265-0557 or visit us at elevategolf.com. That's ELV8golf.com. Contact us today and get ready to play better golf.
Hello, friends. This is Jim Nance, and you are listening to Golf with my friend Jay Delsing.
Hi, I'm Adam Betts, PGA professional and owner at Family Golf and Learning Center. We welcome golfers of all ages and abilities, from the junior golfer to the experienced players. From our indoor TrackMan simulators, large short game area, grass tees, and driving range bays, to our golf instruction, leagues, clinics, and camps, we connect you with every resource to reach your golfing goals. We look forward to helping you improve your golf game at Family Golf and Learning Center, where we make St. Louis better at golf. Visit us at familygolfonline.com. That's familygolfonline.com.
This is Making the Turn. Making the Turn is presented by Family Golf and Learning Center. For the kids and adults who love the game of golf, look no further than Family Golf and Learning Center. Now let's get back to Jay and Dan.
Golf with Jay Delsing rolls on. We do this every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 on 101 ESPN. A little later in the show, we'll talk about trips you can take, golf trips you can take, and some of the best that Jay has picked out, the top 5 that he's got. Also, our mailbag segment, jay@jdelsinggolf.com to get your emails in, jay@jdelsinggolf.com. Our thanks to Alonzo Byrd, Director of Business and Community Engagement with the Ascension Charity Classic. Hard to believe, Jay, as he mentioned, just over a month away. Let's get into it. I mean, there's a lot of things that need to take place, as Alonzo was saying, but it's as simple as, just getting up the grandstands and making sure your sponsors are taken care of. But how about 150 sponsors plus already? Local community has really stepped up with this event.
Danny, in 2018 at Belle Reve, St. Louis put probably, the best golf foot forward that you could ever seen. It's just absolutely unbelievable. And this tournament, as Alonzo said, is a direct response to that. I mean, this is a great sports town. There's no question about it. I mean, you have knowledgeable sports people. You have how about the community support though? That cannot be taken for granted either. That is super, super impressive.
Again, tickets at AscensionCharityClassic.com. You've played in it. I want to get the players' perspective. What did they think of the course? Let's not talk about hospitality yet and how they were treated and the crowds that come out. We'll get to that. But just in general, what they thought the course is at Norwood.
Great old school, old style. What they loved is that you walk from one green to the next tee. There's not a shuttle ride. This is not a housing project, Danny. This is old style golf. And you got to hit every single club in your bag on the West Course at Norwood. And they mostly talk about what kind of shape it's in, just in impeccable shape. So, yeah, I still kind of trying to figure out how to get over what Steve Flesch did to it last year.
62, man.
In 19 under for 3 rounds.
Did that break?
Insane.
Hold on. Did that break your record?
It did.
Oh, well, no wonder you're upset about it. How did he do it?
But I had it on the old course.
I don't care. It still is the record.
Well, I don't know how. Yeah, because I had 64. Well, I had 64 in the new, too. I don't know what it was, but it was just damn good. I mean, he was 7 under after 7 holes.
It's crazy.
It's just insane. He also, one of the coolest aspects of that is, and we're going to get to see him coming up really soon, he had his son Griffin on the bag.
Yeah, I love that.
You know what I mean? And how cool is that? I mean, that's an experience that you're never going to be able to forget.
The Champions Tour guys, how do they like the greens? They like them rolling really fast? Do they like a little bit slower than what they were accustomed to on the PGA Tour? How does that work?
Yeah, they're a little slower. Norwood, because of the older style of the golf course, it's got a couple of greens, namely number 2 and number 11. Number 9 can get dodgy as well.
9 can be tough
9 can get dodgy as well. But where there's just a little too much slope compared to the sort of agronomy and to the advancements that have been made in agronomy, Danny, because when these greens were built, they never envisioned greens at 14s or 15s. And, Mike Mill, our superintendent, he could get those there tomorrow.
Sure.
I mean, that's how good what kind of shape the golf course is in and the sort of condition that the greens are in and day out. So it's interesting that they actually slow them down for normal play for the PGA Tour champions. And the champions usually have it at 11.5. It's very makeable speed. I mean, it's this is the second act for everyone's career. This is not trying to make this the U.S. Open or the British Open Championship. This is kind of, it's a cross between, it's a competition. It really is. But it's also an exhibition. Guys are out there to put on a show.
Absolutely.
And they're out there to be friendly. And so it's super fun.
Do you find that majority of players, and again, if you don't know this, you can use a cart.
Yeah.
So I'm giving you my best advice.
I got to have a cart this year. I do.
You worn out a little bit because you're so good on the Pro-Ams, and I mean this sincerely. You're so good in trying to help people, make it a great experience, be a part of the Pro-Am. So you're working your tail off to make that experience really good for the paying customer. But then you were walking the whole time, and I thought, Jay, why are you doing that? Don't wear yourself out. Yeah. So, number one, you need to be in a cart, and the question would be, how many of the guys take advantage of that? Is it half? Is it more than that? What is it?
I'd say it's more than half now. I think it's you'll get a good portion that'll never take carts, but I think it also depends on your age. When you start off and you're right at 50, it's a big difference between that and 65 or something. You look at Bernhard Langer, he's 66, coming off of that Achilles surgery and that rupture of his Achilles tendon. So it'll be interesting because I watched him give the farewell to the DP Tour. Well, gosh, it's almost probably a month ago now, D. But and he was dragging that. He was dragging. So there's a lot of water under these bridges, man. We've walked a lot of golf.
I had the privilege to caddy for you in the Pro-Am.
Yeah, we had a blast.
It was so much fun, and to see it from that perspective was unique for me. And I got to walk into the clubhouse. And I'm sitting there looking at all these guys that I'd watched and admired for so long. What is it like when you walk into that clubhouse? It just conjure up so many memories for you, or, seeing old friends, that kind of thing. What's it like when you walk in?
Yeah, it does. And, some guys are still crabby. Some of them, not many. It's really hard to be in a bad mood, D, when you've played golf and chased your dream for this long, and for some of the amount of money these guys have made. It's the game is just a phenomenal provider. It provides for the needy. It provides. It just
for all the kids in North County
just turning out. Yeah, almost $3 million for North County. I mean, how do you beat that?
Right. The players, what did they have to say to you? So they got done, and you're sitting there chit-chatting with a player. What did they say about the experience?
They gave me way more credit than I deserved, and I told them, I said, I am a small piece of this big machine.
No,
here,
you're
man.
a big piece.
And these
it's
guys
your
are
home course,
like,
man.
Vijay Singh, who is not one to give compliments lightly. He came up to me and just gushed about the tournament and the course last year, and it was really impressive because, again, he's much more inclined to tell you what didn't go right than what did go right, and that's just his personality, and he was just absolutely phenomenal.
I'm trying to think of the biggest draws, and you are a big draw here locally, so we had a lot of people following you, which was fun. Had to get your juices flowing.
It sure did. They kind of flew in all sorts of different directions.
Ball going there.
Yeah, a little bit of little Army golf, left, right. Yeah, so I think John Daly is
I was going to say, he's got to be number one.
Yeah, hopefully
I think
we
for a
can
lot
keep
of people.
JD around a little longer next year.
Yeah, he can't be quitting in the middle of the round.
No, and then kicking footballs and all sorts of other stuff. So, yeah, he's a wild card. That's when
that's what you get.
That's what you get. You're not sure. You're not really sure, but I'm really excited, Danny, about this Folds of Honor Friday.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that. I can't wait for that.
Final question about this, and then we'll go to something else here, kind of leading into Ian Woosnam, who is going to join us hopefully in our next segment. We got to connect overseas with him, so hopefully the connection will go well. But I want to ask you about your preparation. So you've been dealing with some ailments, but for the most part, you're getting out there, you're playing a bunch, and you're going to be ready to go.
Yeah, I'm playing. I'm kind of in a little lull right now. I was playing pretty well a couple of weeks ago, and then I'm just kind of. I'm fine. I'm fine. Body is holding up. We're doing all we can to keep her going and keep me upright. And I'm just excited for the week. I'm excited for the opportunity. Excited for all the buzz. You get that first tee shot is so nerve wracking, and just to see all the bleachers go up. We talked about Folds of Honor. We've got the Marcone viewing deck. We've got all of our first responders and heroes that come out and get to go to the golf tournament free of charge. So, and then the kids, I always love the kids.
What I like to do when guys, foreigners come on our show, that's okay to say, right?
Yeah.
Ian Woosnam. I like hearing his voice.
I know.
I love hearing these guys, man.
I know. There's and they're just a little more laid back, and they're not just going to roll it out there and see what happens. You never know what's going to happen with Woozy.
Did you play with him much?
I didn't. I never actually got to play with him. He really didn't play over here that much other than the major championships. So had lunch with him. I think I played a little practice round, maybe a little 9-hole something with him. But, I always enjoyed him. As we got older, as you get older, it kind of rounds the edges a little bit, Danny, and softens everybody up a little bit. But I've always admired him.
And the thing to admire too is international competition.
Yeah,
and he was involved heavily in that. So I'm sure that's something we'll get into too.
Yeah, absolutely. The Ryder Cup, and he's a big anchor in that side for a long, long time, and so. Yeah, interesting guy. Made it to world number 1. I mean, that doesn't happen too often.
Doesn't happen often at all. So 1991, he won the Masters, a World Golf Hall of Famer, winner of 52 professional events worldwide, and Ian Woosnam will be our guest. We call this Golf with Jay Delsing. The mailbag will be open in our final segment. Also, we're going to talk about some trips to go on if you're curious about golf trips out there. Golf with Jay Delsing rolls on from the Car Shield Studios in just a moment.
Making the Turn was brought to you by Pro-Am Golf. See what Pro-Am Golf can do for you. Up next, we head to the back nine. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
Do you remember the golden rule? I'm sure you do, but just in case, it goes like this. Treat people the way that you'd like to be treated. At People's National Bank, that one statement is the cornerstone of what this bank is all about. Locally owned, with 23 locations in Southern Illinois and the metropolitan St. Louis area, People's National Bank parlays a robust menu of commercial or personal banking services you could possibly need with a friendly yet hardworking Midwestern attitude. Maybe you just want to do business with a bank whose entire team lives in the same neighborhoods as we do. If you're like me and doing business with someone you trust is important to you, then People's National Bank is the bank for you. Jason Rantham, local president, is here for you to call, and he'll answer any questions you may have. His personal cell is 314-974-2243. You can also find us online at peoplesnationalbank.com. People's National Bank is here for all of your banking needs.
Hi, this is Adam Betts from Family Golf and Learning Center. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
I am proud to welcome the Gateway section of the PGA back to my show. Whether you're pulling into your favorite driving range, public golf course, or country club, there is an excellent chance that the staff there is part of the over 300 men and women PGA professionals at over 100 facilities that make up our Gateway section. I grew up watching so many of these fine men and women getting to the golf course at dawn, leaving at dusk, spending their entire day running events, giving lessons, and growing this great game. PGA Reach, Drive, Chip, and Putt, PGA Hope, and the fantastic PGA Junior League are a few of the examples of the programs run by these same PGA professionals. Go to gatewaypga.org to learn more, or to find your next PGA professional for your next lesson, go to pga.com. The Gateway PGA, growing the game we love.
You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing. Brought to you by Car Shield and Doherty Business Solutions. Every Sunday morning from 8 to 10. It features top guests, tips from a PGA Tour player, and the latest news and notes from around the world of golf. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
A professional golfer, as you watch on TV every Sunday afternoon, never ventures onto the course without his trusted caddy. This was true for me for my entire career. I want you to think of Powers Insurance as your insurance caddy that you never had. Just as my golf caddy helped me to assess risk on the golf course, Powers Insurance can do the same for you in your busy and complicated life. Tim Davis, COO at Powers Insurance, did exactly that for me and saved me over 50% on one of my coverages. A good insurance risk advisor can help you know when to take a chance or when it may be smarter to take a little more club. Give the folks at Powers Insurance a call and get a caddy for all of your insurance needs. Call them at 314-725-1414. That's 314-725-1414. That's Powers Insurance.
WXOS HD1 East St. Louis. 101 ESPN is driven by Auto Centers Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty and 30-day return.
This is the Back Nine. The Back Nine is brought to you by Car Shield. Now let's get back to Jay and Dan.
That's Jay. I'm Dan. Let's welcome in Ian Woosnam, a World Golf Hall of Famer, winner of 52 professional events worldwide, which included Jay Byrd, the 1991 Masters.
Woozy, thanks so much for joining us. And, man, just congratulations, first of all, on such a great career.
Well, thanks, mate. Yeah, it's been pretty good. Something to look back for, and something for my grandchildren to appreciate what I did in life, really.
Woozy, one of the things that sticks out in my mind is you were part of the Big Five: Nick Faldo, Ballesteros, Langer, and Sandy Lyle, and you guys started you basically founded the European PGA Tour and the DP Tour now. But the biggest thing, Woozy, is the stuff from the Ryder Cup. I can remember you guys whipping the red, white, and blues ass and really starting that competition, because prior to that, but it was kind of dead.
Yeah, we had some good players in Europe, and of course it was the British and Irish team, really, and then Europe came into it, Seve and some other continental players, and when you're playing with guys like Seve, Sandy, Langer, Faldo all the time, you see these guys. It makes other players get better and stronger and everything, and we were fortunate to be all within 1 year of each other to pull the DP Tour, the European Tour, the DP Tour as it's called now, into a stage where the Ryder Cup got so competitive. There was 5 of us, but you still got a team of 12. So you still got to have other great players as well.
When you compete like you did on the PGA Tour and all across the world, and it's on your shoulders as an individual, but then compare it to be part of a Ryder Cup team. What is that like, and kind of compare the two?
Well, it's different being a Ryder Cup player, because you're playing as a team, and when you're out there, you feel like I never won a singles. It's incredible, really. I had a couple of draws with Fred Couples, but I won 3 world match plays. Obviously, I can play good match play for me and for myself. But when you get in a team situation, you gotta. I think that's where a good captain or a captain comes along and he says to you, when it comes to the last day and you play an individual, you've got to play for yourself and just try and win your match. And I tended to be a bit too much thinking about the team too much, and it's sometimes that's why I didn't win a singles match. But I won a lot of matches as a team player, as a partner with different kinds of players through 8 different Ryder Cups, really.
I saw you squirting a lot of damn champagne over there, man, and I didn't like it too much. I can remember you were right in the middle of everything.
Yeah, champagne and Guinness doesn't go down too well. Out of your nose. But you've got to whatever. I've got to try and keep up with them young lads. Darren Clark was drinking them pints of Guinness, so I thought I better jump on the bandwagon as well.
I love it. The Masters of 1991. You won that Masters. How does it change your life when you win that event?
Well, you spend your life. I always try to compare it as like trying to climb a mountain. You start at the very bottom, and the Masters or a major is at the top, and you work your way up to the top. And I got there, on that Monday morning, I became world number 1 player in the world, and and at the end of the week, I became, I won the Masters. So I got to the top of the mountain, and realistically, after that, I'm not sure where I was going to do after that. I sort of didn't really enjoy the limelight. People coming here, news conferences, the press all the time, and I didn't play very well after that. A lot of players tend to do that when they win their first major. What I should have done is said, right, I'm going to win more majors, but I hadn't put that in my thought, really.
What is it like to go back and be a part of that dinner? The champions are back. They're all reunited. Pull back the curtain a little bit as much as you can, and what's it like to be in that room?
Well, and actually when I won after, I go back in 92 for my first dinner, and you're just a young man. You see all these older guys there, and you know the history of the Masters and the players that's there. It's incredible, just to be sitting there with the greatest players in the world, really, and very nerve-wracking, I got to say that. But as I've gone over the years now, we sat there this year, we had some great stories. It was Sevi's birthday, it would have been Sevi's birthday, and some of the Spanish lads said some nice stories about Sevi, and all the guys, were always doing a few jokes or having a bit of fun, which tour pros do, when they get together, talk about the old times, really.
Woozy, when I know the way you grew up and we grew up similarly, does it ever dawn? I mean, do you ever look back and go, "What did I do?" I mean, you made it to the number one player in the world. I always wanted to, but never got there. But when I think about the play and the people I got to play with, the people that the game introduced me to, none of the kids that I grew up with, man, got to do any of that stuff.
No, Jay, I just don't know. I look at it now and I think, well, how did I do that? I don't really, I guess I did put plenty of hours into the practice when I was younger, but I've told this story millions of times, is that I came up with Sandy Lyle. He was my partner in the junior golf. And I had a guy who was most probably at 14, 15, 16 years of age. You could see he was going to be the best player in the world. And I had to get my game as good as his. And he basically, as I was saying earlier on, you have these players drag on other players, and Sandy Lyle, he dragged me on, really. And I knew I had to be any good in the world, I had to be as good as Sandy Lyle. And if I wanted to be the best in the world, I had to beat him. And so that's how we came up together. We lived 10 miles apart from each other. It was quite an interesting story, really.
Ian Woosnam is our guest, at one point number one in the world. 52 career wins on the World Tour and in the PGA Tour, and wins the 1991 Masters. I always find it curious how great players get involved in the game of golf and their influences along the way. So how did you get involved and introduced to the game, and who were some of your influences along the way?
As I said, like my mum and dad, my dad was a farmer. He sort of played a bit of football, soccer, as you call it, soccer, and decided all his mates were playing golf. And one day he said, "Right, get in the car, we're off to play golf." And I thought, what's golf? And we all went up to a little golf course called Llanymynech, which is Welsh, which is 14 miles away. And at the time we had a dairy farm, so we'd have to go in between milking the cows. And so we all started, and we all fell in love with it, and that's how it all started. And then, at the time we had a great little junior section up there, a guy called Bernard Thomas. He used to help us all, and we just became a really good, for where we live, Shropshire, which is a county where myself and Sandy Lyle came from. And we had some great golfers, and you just you watch these other players play, and you get better and better and better. And you just say, well, I want to be a professional golfer. I can remember a guy saying, saying to me, Woosnam, what are you going to do when you leave school? I said, well, I'm going to be a professional golfer, travel the world, win tournaments, win majors, and just like my heroes, Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player, and Arnold Palmer. And he said, well, you're going to have to grow a little bit. But, I didn't grow much. I grew 4 inches, but I got there. I managed to get there.
Oh my gosh, Woozy, you had a phenomenal career. It's interesting. I'd love to get your perspective on the modern game. It's changed a great deal, but for the most part, golf has never been bigger, especially here in the States, around the world. A global pandemic somehow blew the game up. but man, we are in all sorts of chaos with the game. The whole live thing. What's your take on it?
Well, it's crazy. I can understand that. Someone challenging the PGA Tour and everything. Like, look at the DP Tour. We were most probably the second biggest tour in the world, and where are we standing now? Lives in there. Yes, it is in a bit of a mess, and the sooner it gets sorted out. But it's all about money, isn't it? So, it's all amazing how the PGA Tour can all of a sudden come up with all these great big tournaments, and the pros now are getting paid like some of the basketball players, whatever they are. Massive money at the moment compared to what it used to be when we played golf. And, it's great for the guys who are doing it now, but it's, the game is massive, and everybody wants to play it. But, it's in a mess, and I don't know what the answer is. Hopefully someone's got to give and move on, really.
Who are the players now that you'll pay attention to? They pop on your TV and you'll stop and say, ooh, I'll give this 5 or 10 minutes. I'll watch this guy play.
Well, if I can keep the television on that long. As we played when we were younger, Jay, is that, we could move the ball left, right, and everything. And every time Tiger comes back on the TV, I love to watch Tiger, but I think he's having to try and change the way he plays. He would stand there with that maybe softer ball, and you could see, well, I'm going to fade one in, I'm going to draw one in, hit one high, hit one low. And that excited me when I watched TV, to watch the golf on the TV. But these days, the guys hit it in the rough. They hit it 465 yards, or someone drove the ball the other day, or Bryson or something. It's crazy how far it goes. But again, I did watch the US Open, and that was exciting, very exciting. And it's nice to see all them guys get back together. But, it's not like in the older days where you can shape the ball. You were saying to me you would like to have my thoughts on it. I think if you change the ball, it swerved a lot more. If you don't hit it in the middle of the face, it's going to just go offline by 200 yards, not just 40 yards, 200 yards. You would spin it more. You'd have to hit different shots. And if it's the ball, if you could just change the ball, leave the clubs as they are. You can hit the ball 400 yards if you want to, but if you don't hit it correctly, you're going to lose it.
Woozy, that's the thing when watching these guys. They don't even attempt to knock down a wedge. They don't even attempt to work the ball. It's like a cannon, and they just aim the cannon. But if they were playing with the equipment that we had back in the day, you remember when you hit that thing off the heel of that driver, it went low, and you need a search party with some of the damn tee shots that I hit back in the day. These guys could go ahead and launch at 350, but they'll miss the golf course with it. Yeah,
I played with a couple of kids yesterday, 23-year-olds, and I mean, I go, what are you doing hitting it up there? I'm on a Sea Links golf course, and I thought, what are you doing? They might be hitting 9 iron, I'm hitting 7 iron. I know I'm 66 and they're only 23, but I'm shaping one against the wind, and they're just flying it up in the air, and I wonder why they can't score. It doesn't make any sense to me.
What keeps you busy these days? You mentioned playing golf yesterday, but what else are you doing that keeps you busy?
Grandchildren.
Yeah, they keep you hustling, don't they? Man, it's
playing a little bit on the European Seniors Team, the Legends Tour, and teaching a few people, some young kids, as I say, trying to. Again, as you say, I was playing with them yesterday, and just trying to show them how to play the game of golf a little bit different to what they're trying to do. You know what I mean? I enjoy that. It's
an entirely different experience because these kids love to watch the ball spin back on the greens, Woozy. And I said, that's terrible. And they're like, no, look at how cool that is. And I said, how are you going to play to a back pin? And they're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And I said, how are you going to get your ball to stay in the back part of the green, man? That thing spins 25 feet every time you hit it.
Exactly. It's just crazy. You see them go in the rough these days, and you can't even see the ball. And it hit it onto the green, it stops dead. And I thought, my God, in the olden days, you just have to chip that out sideways and try and make a par a different way.
As we head down the stretch with Ian Woosnam, outstanding player for many, many years, winner of the 1991 Masters, over 50 wins worldwide, and the winner of the 1991 Masters, as we mentioned. So I bring that up. As you reflect on your career, what are you most proud of?
Oh, I obviously winning a major is unbelievable, but I think becoming world number one golfer in the world is, for 50 weeks, and I had to sort of that's unbelievable. To be the best player when there's sort of 8 billion people in the world, you know what I mean? So to reach that mark was, it's incredible.
Woozy, you guys traveled so much more too than the States the traveling was so much easier, going from country to country, and the things that you guys had to do on the early days of the European tour made it I think it helped with some of the camaraderie that you guys had, because over here we'd finish a tournament and then not see each other maybe for a couple of weeks or anything. You guys traveled together a lot, didn't you?
Well, absolutely. We would be off going to, Australia, you name it, Asia, and you become like a family. And we all used to stay in like 2 hotels. So, at the most 2 hotels, and, we're all I think that's why one of the big success of the Ryder Cup has been that we were so friendly and got on so well. And, but, I could have come and played on the PGA Tour. I decided not to do that. It's difficult to live out of a suitcase all the time. I'd have to move my family over there, and I just didn't want to do that. But, hang on, I've got my grandson here. He's where's my golf bag? I don't know.
Where's my golf bag?
Where's my golf bag, Grandpa?
Go and see Nanny. Yeah, go and see Nanny. It's in there somewhere.
Oh, that's the best. That is perfect. Ian, tell us a little bit about this, the place in Barbados, Apes Hill, that I've heard nothing but great things about it, and I know you're an ambassador for them.
Yeah, I've been going to Barbados for nearly over 40 years, and 30 years ago I bought a house, and which is on Royal Westmoreland Golf Course. But they built a new golf course up the hill called Apes Hill, and it's it's just a great spot. It's right on top of the Barbados, and the views is incredible. It's you've got the Caribbean Sea one side, and you've got the Atlantic Ocean the other side. Absolutely fantastic design as well. Real playable. Just a great spot. Just a great spot to go and play golf. So, excuse me, I've got the family. It's just I can't get away from him.
Well, Ian, we know you're busy. We could tell you're busy. You got your hands full. We really appreciate your time, and I know it's. I speak for Jay. It's a thrill for us to visit with you. Not a problem. I'm just got back in the office here now, so hopefully it'll be okay. Yeah, it's just a great spot, Barbados. Unfortunately, there's just a hurricane went past yesterday, and Grenada and a few other islands there just got wiped out, and fortunately Barbados was all right, but feel sorry for some of the other islands just sort of 100 miles away from Barbados. Sad day yesterday.
Woozy, thanks so much for joining us, man. And you got to get some rest to keep up with those grandkids, and they're going to be pulling you out on the course probably in about 10 minutes.
I know. I've got another one coming tomorrow. We got 2 of them tomorrow, so it's going to be flat out.
Better get those Guinness ready.
Ian, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
All right, guys, take it easy.
That was the Back Nine, presented by Elevate Golf. Get your golf game in shape with Elevate Golf.
Hey, Jay Delsing here, and I know I speak for all of we golfers. We're always looking to try to improve our game. For me, that means I go to one place, and that one place is Pro-Am Golf in Brentwood. Tom DeGrand opened his family business in 1975 with a goal of providing St. Louis with the finest in golf equipment, instruction, and technology. Whether you need a new rangefinder, your first set of clubs, or anything else you can think of, Pro-Am Golf has just what you're looking for. If you're a scratch handicap or you carry a 20 handicap, come visit Pro-Am Golf and inquire about a lesson from Tom DeGrand. He's been fixing golf swings and making St. Louis better at golf for over 40 years. Go get your gear, lessons, or anything golf related where I go, and that's Pro-Am Golf in Brentwood. You can also visit them online at Pro-Am Golf USA. That's ProAmGolfUSA.com. It's Pro-Am Golf, proud sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
This is Jim Hackenberg, founder of Orange Whip and Orange Whip Training. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
Hey, this is Jay Delsing for SSM Health Physical Therapy. Our golf program has the same screening techniques and technology as the pros on the PGA Tour use. SSM Health Physical Therapy has the Titleist Performance Institute trained physical therapists that can perform the TPI screening on you, as well as use the K-Vest 3D motion capture system. Proper posture, alignment, etc. can help you keep your game right down the middle. We have 80 locations in the St. Louis area. Call 800-518-1626 or visit them on the web at ssmphysicaltherapy.com. Your therapy, our passion.
Get ready to watch the legends of golf up close when they compete at historic Norwood Hills Country Club right here in St. Louis. The Ascension Charity Classic will be back again with some of golf's biggest names: Steve Stricker, Padraig Harrington, John Daly, David Duval, Bernard Langer, Ernie Els, and more will return September 3rd through the 8th at Norwood Hills. All tournament proceeds go to area charities serving North St. Louis County youth and families. Sponsorship opportunities, Pro-Am foursomes, and more information available for you at AscensionCharityClassic.com.
Are you driving an out-of-warranty car? It's only a matter of time before your out-of-warranty vehicle is in the shop costing you thousands of dollars. Auto repair costs are up nearly 20% from last year, which is 4 times the rate of inflation. If an unexpected breakdown happened today, would you be ready for that? Well, now you can be with a plan through CarShield. Even if your car is just over 3 years old, it's still prone to expensive costs. Your car is more than just getting you from point A to point B. Traveling by car is a way of life. From picking up your kids to going to a new restaurant, cars are a daily essential. When you enroll in a car protection plan through CarShield, you can look forward to the following. The price will never go up no matter how many claims you file, or no matter how high the mileage on your car increases. CarShield offers protection plans that start as low as $100 per month. That's $100 per month. They have repair coverage for up to 5,000 different parts of your vehicle. Plus, when your car breaks down and you're stuck on the side of the road, you get 24/7 coast-to-coast roadside assistance. You also get complimentary towing and rental car options. CarShield has my back when my car breaks down, and they can have yours too. Call CarShield today at 800-465-6550 or visit carshield.com. It's CarShield, proud sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing, rated as the #1 golf show in the Midwest. Now let's get back to Jay and Dan.
What a thrill that was to visit with Ian Woosnam, a World Golf Hall of Famer, again winner of 52 professional events worldwide, and that included the 1991 Masters. With Jay Delsing, I'm Dan McLaughlin. This is Golf with Jay Delsing, coming to you from the CarShield studios, and as always presented by Daugherty Business Solutions. I think my favorite part of the interview was at the very end with his grandkids pulling on his leg to get him to go out and play a little golf.
Where's my bag?
Right. You can relate, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. It's so awesome. He's such an interesting guy because you know that they grew up, Danny, with nothing. Just kind of similar to the way we grew up, and you spent all your time outside.
Yeah.
And you spent all your time around a ball and whatever that looked like. And it's what I did not realize is he never won a singles match in the Ryder Cup.
I didn't realize that either. That was shocking to me. As much as he played in it,
I know,
and has had a hand in it, an involvement in it for so many years and so many different teams. That was shocking to me.
That shocked me. I couldn't believe it. But cheers to him for bringing it up, right?
Cheers.
I mean, he didn't have to bring that up. Yeah,
Cheers.
absolutely. Cheers. That's what all the Euros say.
That's
they say
right.
Cheers. So, yeah, man, when I think back on those days, Danny, and those teams, well, how about some of the players?
Awesome.
You're talking about Faldo and Sevi and Olazabal and Langer and Woozy and Lyle and, I mean, and Sam Torrance. Faraday was even in there a little bit. You had some great, great players from that side. And then you think about Lanny Watkins, Curtis Strange, Davis Love. All, man, we had some teams.
I'm not real happy with you.
All right, what'd I do?
We're supposed to have David Faraday on again.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, I keep forgetting.
I want to get him back on.
Yeah, I know.
What about next week?
Absolutely. Let's see what he's got going on.
He's a busy guy, though.
He is a busy guy.
But he's got 15 minutes for one of his favorites, Jay Delsing.
Absolutely. He's a ton of fun. I'll you know what we need to do, D, is we got to check the Live Tour schedule.
Yeah.
Because that's all he's got going on right now.
Well, with the Olympics, you
I know.
maybe there's a little break in their schedule, too.
Love it.
Okay, let's try to do that maybe for next week. There's a little tease.
I love that. I wonder if any Live players made it on the Olympic squad.
Well, here's my thing. How does, and I don't know the answer to this, how does DeChambeau not play in that? How do you not have Koepka? You got to put your best foot forward with the Americans. And the Euros, I'm not sure because they were excluded in the Ryder Cup. We should know that. I should know that, too. And specifically, we need to look that up to see if those Olympic guys are going to be included in terms of the Live players. So that's something we'll look up in this commercial break.
Absolutely,
we'll
Danny.
look that
But
up.
you think of it, it's them representing their country, so
Right.
it would be more their country.
Actually, I do know the answer because I was watching the British and they had the Olympic symbol next to John Rahm. So there's your answer.
Okay,
John Rahm is playing for
John
Spain.
Rahm's playing for Spain, and
Yeah.
so you're probably getting you're probably going to get Cameron,
Shoffley.
yeah, and Cameron Smith playing
Cameron
for
Smith, there you go.
Australia,
Yep.
and yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That I mean, that's the way it should be.
Absolutely.
You gotta
Put the
get
get the best players out there.
100%. And Danny, after the Olympics and after the Tour Championship, I'm really, really hoping that this is going to be an incredibly meaningful offseason where we're going to get this thing ironed out.
Well, the thing is, too, and I've said this a million times, but I think the PGA Championship laid the groundwork for the footprint of how to do this. And it just seemed like it worked there, and it's working at the other majors, so why not do it?
Absolutely.
It just seems the right way to go.
Come on.
Yeah.
Let's get this done.
Okay, there's a lot of people that still have time. Vacation season is here, summer months, but maybe you plan for next, spring break or something with your family or next summer because it's not time to do it. Maybe you run out of time in the summer months to plan a vacation. We thought this would be fun. Your 5 top places to go to plan a golf trip.
Love this.
And I'll give you number 5.
Number 5. Okay, so number 5, we're going to stick in our home state, and we are going to go to Paynes Valley, Buffalo Ridge, and Top of the Rock. Now, folks, this Paynes Valley is getting national recognition. Tiger Woods designed the golf course. You got Buffalo Ridge down there. You've got the Top of the Rock. I've been down. I have not played, but I've been down there. There's some phenomenal restaurants. Johnny Morris and his venture into golf, yeah, it's super, super cool. And don't forget about this geological discovery that he had when
incredible.
It's just incredible. They had almost like a sinkhole situation happen, folks, down there. And there's something that's never been seen for like maybe ever down there. And so it's all going to be part of the experience eventually. So they're making it safe. They're trying to figure it out. But Springfield, Missouri, hard to imagine I would ever send anyone from around the country to Springfield, but absolutely do it now.
Number 4.
Number 4, we're going south.
Okay.
We're headed south. And folks, you're going to go out through Alabama. You're going to go through Mississippi and a little bit through Florida, and you are going to play on the Trent Jones Trail. Now, this is really interesting. The trail consists of almost a dozen or so golf courses, and they're all spread out through the South. And you can get actually a Trent Jones Trail package where you can buy a pass and you can play these things. I've played the Legislator, I think it's called, in Montgomery, and it is a beast, but don't play those tees. Go up, move forward, but there's all sorts of different Trent Jones Trail availabilities through the South. Check it out. It'll be fun. It'll be different. You'll get to see a different little flavor of the South. You'll really like the experience. So we're going to Robert Trent Jones. It's called the Trent Jones Trail. Check it out.
I love this. Number 3.
Number 3, we're going east. We got this thing. We're going to the east, maybe a little southeast. We're going to Pinehurst.
Okay.
Now, Pinehurst. Yeah,
so I get to go down there and get beat up then.
Absolutely. Well, there's 8 golf courses. This is about golf. This is a golf trip, folks. There's not much else going on down there. Great food, lot of golf. So you got to check out number 8. Number 2 is obviously where they play the major championships, but there's 8 different golf courses. Check them all out. They are fun. They're going to give you a bunch of different flavors, but you got to go to Pinehurst somewhere along the time in your life and check it out, because they've got one of the biggest putting greens you've ever seen in your life. And there's a lot of history down there too. So you'll really enjoy it, I think.
Okay. Number 2,
we are going about as far from Pinehurst as we can go. We're going to Oregon. We're going to one of the Kaiser's prettiest places they've ever been to. It's the Oregon coast, Bandon, Oregon, for Bandon Dunes.
And you've been there. You played it.
It is absolutely breathtaking. You would never guess we're on the Oregon coast when you're out there. There's Pacific Dunes, there's Bandon Trails, there's Sheep Ranch, there's all sorts of different golf courses out there. Folks, it's pricey. Suck it up, pay the money, have the experience. You want to stay right on property there too. They've got the town of Bandon is small. It's quaint. They've got good little restaurants in there. You're going to be exhausted because it's a lot of golf, most of it walking. So you'll love it. But Bandon Dunes is right up there, and you're going to love it.
Okay, this one's got me intrigued. What's your number 1 stop? Where are we going?
I'm sticking fairly close to home. We're going Midwest and north a little bit. We're going to Whistling Straits. We're going to Kohler, Wisconsin. My hat is off to Herb Kohler for somehow making a one-stop sign town, one-stoplight town, a worldwide golf destination. Whistling Straits has the river course. It has the Irish course. It has the Straits course. It has the Meadows course. It is so well done. Stay at the American Club. Again, it's pricey. I know it, but this is a bucket list sort of thing. They've played the Ryder Cup there. It is so well done. The food is spectacular. You're in Wisconsin, the land of the cheese. And when you're there...
And the weather would be nice, too.
Right. It'll be cooler.
Yep.
And you might as well go on over to Erin Hills.
Yeah. I've done this whole trip that you're talking about.
It's spectacular. Now, are we in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, but that's the whole point. That's what makes you unique.
Get lost, go hit some golf balls, have some good food, spend it with some people you love, some golf buddies, your girlfriend, your wife, somebody like it's a phenomenal trip.
Okay, I'm going to throw a curveball at you here.
All right.
So we're going overseas.
Yep.
St. Andrews, Royal Troon, where are we going? This is kind of a tough one,
That is impossible. So I would say definitely not the best course you'll ever play.
Okay.
Got to go to got to see St. Andrews. But I'm going to throw, let me backtrack real quick. I had an honorable mention. Northeast. I didn't want to leave the Northeast part of the U.S. out.
Bethpage Black.
You're damn right, Danny. And we're going to have the Ryder Cup there next year. Bethpage has hosted 2 U.S. Opens. It is fun. It is an experience. You pull in, you got locals sitting in their cars, like waiting for you to come so they can caddy for you. It's super cool. That's our honorable mention if you want to go up and go check out new Yankee Stadium while you're out there.
You're in New York City, go for it.
Why not? And the new Shea Stadium.
Maybe
it's
take in
MetLife?
Take it, yeah.
Yeah.
Take in a play or something.
Yeah, why not?
Broaden your horizons.
I don't know about the play. That's up to you.
That's fun.
Go Bethpage.
You need to broaden your horizons.
I know. My horizons are pretty narrow, I guess. But Danny, I would say you got to go to St. Andrews because it's a home of golf and it's super, super cool. But it will not be the best golf course you've ever played. It won't. You've got to go check out a place like, oh my gosh, Carnoustie, which is super hard. And any other places, Prestwick, Troon, Muirfield. You'll love them. If you get a chance to play North Berwick, that's a sleeper. Nobody's ever heard of North Berwick. It's really super fun. Royal Lytham in Ann. It's another great a great golf course. So anything. Here's my call. Anything on the British Open Rota. If you go to any of the courses that we play in that rotation, you're gonna love it. You're gonna go, wow, weird. When you go to St. Andrews, if you don't play St. Andrews, do this: go out, walk down the first, and then cross over the Squilkern Bridge and go check out the road hole. The road hole green. Check out the bunker. Check out the wall behind it. Check out the railroad track and all the other crazy stuff on that hole. You'll see the hotel. You'll see ball mark scars off of the hotel and off the wall and everything. And then you'll get to walk on the other side of the Squilkern Bridge and walk up 18 and take a look to your right, because that's the town proper of St. Andrews, where their pubs and golf balls have been hit over there, and then go play one of the other great tracks.
That's our travel guide, Jay Delsing, here on Golf with Jay Delsing. Coming up, it's the mailbag. Get your emails in, jay@jdelsinggolf.com. It's Golf with Jay Delsing, heard every Sunday, 8 to 10 here on 101 ESPN.
We're heading into the clubhouse, and it's time to go into the mailbag. Tips from a PGA Tour player are coming up. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
Daugherty Business Solutions has been enhancing the business of our customers for the last 37 years. How do we do it? Through our expertise in technology, better use of data and analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. We roll up our sleeves and collaborate. We build applications and effectively communicate with our partner clients to bring their goals and objectives to the finish line. Our award-winning Access Point program is a community game changer. With nearly 100 students in the program, mostly young African-American females are making between $55,000 and $60,000 per year right out of high school. That's right, $55,000 to $60,000 a year right after high school graduation. That's when they begin their training. CEO Ron Daugherty believes the talent is equally distributed, but access to that opportunity is not. So here's Access Point, providing more and more opportunity for those in and around our community. It's Daugherty Business Solutions.
This is Adam Betts from Family Golf and Learning Center located in Kirkwood. Our motto is play your best golf. We have the best instruction for every skill level. 2 female instructors along with our 8 PGA instructors. We're there for the kids and the adults who are starting to play and trying to refine their game. Family Golf and Learning Center features a double-decker driving range, grass tees, and a short game area, along with indoor simulators and a performance center. That's not all. Don't forget about our Back Nine Bar and Grill. Find out how we can help you and your family. Head to familygolfonline.com. That's familygolfonline.com. It's Family Golf and Learning Center, where we make St. Louis better at golf.
If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, any make or model, then you need to visit the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood. They are the official vehicle provider of the Golf with Jay Delsing show. My daughter and I both drive vehicles supplied by Colin and the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, and it's because we know we can trust them. They made the car buying experience painless and easy, and their customer service is second to none. Every single step of the car buying experience was taken care of for us. You can reach Colin at 314-966-0303, and he will answer all of your questions and put your mind at ease. The Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood has new or pre-owned vehicles to be purchased or leased, whichever you prefer. Once you visit the Dean Team Volkswagen on Manchester in Kirkwood, you'll be a customer for life because they will treat you like family. The Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, the official vehicle provider of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
Get ready to watch the legends of golf up close when they compete at historic Norwood Hills Country Club right here in St. Louis. The Ascension Charity Classic will be back again with some of golf's greatest names. Steve Stricker, Padraig Harrington, John Daly, David Duval, Bernard Longer, Justin Leonard, David Toms, and more will compete returning September 3rd through the 8th. Visit AscensionCharityClassic.com for information.
Are you tired of watching your golf scores go up every year? Despite new equipment and even a couple lessons, you still fight that slice or your inability to get that ball up and down out of the bunker? Well, get ready to experience better golf with Elevate Golf. At Elevate Golf, we're changing the way golfers practice with our innovative and data-driven approach to learning and, most importantly, improving. We have an array of membership options where you can find the perfect fit for your golf, your lifestyle, and your budget. Whether you start in our full-service gym, the short game area that has real sand bunker, or one of our 7 TrackMan simulator bays, the team at Elevate Golf will do a complete assessment of you and your game, which is crucial because if you don't know where you're starting from, it's nearly impossible to attain a goal or a new level. Call us today at 636-265-0557 or visit us at elevategolf.com. That's ELV, the number 8, golf.com. Contact us today and get ready to play better golf.
You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing. Have a question for Jay? Log on to jdelsinggolf.com. Now let's head back to Jay and Dan.
Heading down the stretch on Golf with Jay Delsing, our thanks to Ian Woosnam. He was a guest earlier, as well as Alonzo Byrd, the Director of Business Development and Community Engagement with the Ascension Charity Classic. With Jay Delsing, I'm Dan McLaughlin, coming to you from the CarShield Studios and presented by Daugherty Business Solutions. We get a lot of emails throughout the week at jdelsinggolf.com. We try to go through these fairly quickly to inform our listeners to help their golf game. Jay, quick one right here. Chipping versus pitching. Which is better for the recreational golfer? Which is better?
Oh, gosh. I don't know if you can say one's better than the other. I think it's probably, Danny, the thing we should probably do first is just distinguish between the two.
Yeah.
Right? Between the chip and a pitch. So a chip is typically something, guys, that happens within maybe 2 or 3 yards from around the green. So a chip is a much shorter little, and I usually think of a chip as something that's more like a little lower shot that's going to have a little more run to it. Now, it doesn't have to be, but generally speaking, a pitch happens, 5 yards off the green and back as far as, say, 35 to 50 yards, something like that, where you're not using your full-blown powerful swing to hit the ball. It's an abbreviated little motion where it's a little bit shorter. The ball typically is up in the air a little more, but not always, because you can hit a nice little low pitch that's got a lot of spin on it. I think you saw Xander Schauffele, Danny. Here's a great distinction. Yesterday on 16, the par 5, Xander Schauffele had his ball right in front of the bunker and hit this little cool little high pitch with spin on it to about 2 feet from the hole. So that's a pitch. Let's see. There were a couple of shots that I would call chips.
At the Open last weekend.
Yes. For example, on hole number, was it number 12, where it was either 11 or 12, where Justin Rose was to the right of the green and had it this low little chip and run into the hill. He didn't get it up and down. He wound up bogeying the hole, but that was more of a little chip and run. The ball's closer to the ground, and it's got a little run out to it. So that's really kind of the difference. None are preferred for your skill level. You're going to need to learn how to do both of those.
Okay, I'm going to throw this at you. I found this, and I thought it was interesting. I just want you to pull out what comes to mind when you hear this, okay? It was pinpoint accuracy with your irons. Fred Couples says you got 5 things to think about.
Oh,
freedom of motion, rhythmic transition, club face and body rotation, develop feel, and consistent pre-shot routine. I always hear you talking about pre-shot routine.
I like the pre-shot routine the most. Wow, that's what Fred said.
Yeah.
This is coming from a guy that doesn't think too much.
That's one of the things in the article that I read.
Yeah.
He said, don't think too much.
Right, but then he just dropped 5 things on us.
I know.
I'm thinking about all sorts of stuff. I think the thing that helps the most is that pre-shot routine, because you're doing it the same. There's comfort in doing something the same, especially when you get into uncomfortable situations, D, like your club championship. Maybe you're in the finals, or you need to pull a shot off coming down the stretch. When you're really, really nervous, you can plug into that pre-shot routine, and it helps you focus more on what you're trying to do than if you're stand over the ball one time 10 seconds, the next time 20 seconds, the next time 45 seconds. Man, there's a lot of time for things to go wrong and a lot of different thoughts to enter your head. So I like keeping it simple. I like keeping it the same. I think if you watched Xander and everything he did so well this weekend, I mean, you could have timed it. He was standing over the putts. I mean, you could time it. It was down to the second. It was so solid. So I liked what he said about freedom of movement and soft transition and stuff like that. Some of the things that he noted in there, Danny, he does really, really well.
Sure. That's why he's one of the best that's ever played.
Oh, man, World Golf Hall of Famer.
Watching the British Open, this is from Mary in South St. Louis. Jay, I can't hit from a bunker. I don't know how these guys do it. How do you hit from a bunker?
Man, the bunkers are tough, Mary. I'm assuming because we're talking about those riveted stacked side bunkers over there that we're talking about greenside. So Mary, and anybody else that's listening, folks, whenever you want to hit a high shot, get the ball forward in your stance. So if you're right towards your front foot, more towards your front foot than the middle, because we want to be able to slide that club underneath the ball and put some loft on it. So if you're a right-handed player, that means get that ball towards your left, your front foot. If you're a left-hander, it's the opposite. Get it towards your front leg, which is your right. And don't be afraid to use your wrists here, guys. Let your wrist break so that the club actually moves up away from the ball a little bit. And then, consequently, because it's gone up, it's going to go down, and you're going to love the downward motion. That downward motion, you drop the head of the club right behind the ball, Mary, in the sand, no more than 2 inches behind the ball. Take the back part of that wedge, and it's called the bounce, and slam it. You can even slam it hard, Mary, into the sand about 2 inches behind the ball, and then keep the club face moving through the ball. Don't stop it, and keep the face pointed towards the sky. Those are the components of a good bunker shot. Here's the last thing. Use less body, more hands, wrists, and arms. Am I telling you to be wristy? A little bit. I really am. Here's where you go to see it. Tiger Woods, Scotty Scheffler, master class on YouTube. Do it. Check it out. It'll talk and verify all of the things that I'm telling you here. We're going to start getting some stuff out on my YouTube channel as well, where you can go to mine and then we can interact. You can call and say, what the heck are you doing? Why are you doing that? And I'll explain it and break it all down for you.
I like it. We mentioned earlier, guys, I heard you talking about Justin Rose on a par 5 using a driver off the deck. Would you ever advise that for an amateur player like myself?
No.
Never.
Not unless you try it. I would try it. And look, here's the crazy thing. The heads of the drivers are massive now. They're 460 cc's. They're huge. But they can handle the ball off the deck. You've got to almost, I hate to even say this, because when your driver's on the tee, you want to sweep up on it. When the driver's on the deck, it's got to almost be hit down just a tiny bit, but with the ball up in the front part of your stance to help it get up. It won't go super, super high, but you can really get a lot of tumble out of it. And Danny, why that's so crucial in the British Open is because you can hit it low and use the ground.
Sure.
And you can
let it run and go.
And you can just scoot that thing.
All right, drivers, we're going to stay with that. Driving irons. This is Tom in Kirkwood. Should I look into it? Driving irons.
Oh, Tom, in Kirkwood, absolutely you should look into it. I'm assuming you're a lower handicap, but driving irons are generally associated with a lower handicap. You're going to see a driving iron. It's going to look a lot like your hybrids, okay? It's going to have kind of a cavity back area. It's going to help the ball in the air. But what it does is it gives you maximum control, hence an iron, off of a tee with maximum amount of distance that you can get. So typically speaking, those can come in really, really handy, Danny, on second shots to par fives where you want to keep the ball in the fairway or keep them in play on a narrow par four. So I'm a proponent. If you have enough speed and you have enough skill to hit a driving iron, then check them out because they can be very, very helpful.
Jay, here's an interesting question and one I hadn't thought about, but this is from Mike in North County. He said, I was watching Tiger play last weekend, saw a ton of rust on his wedges. Can that serve a purpose at all, or what's the situation with the rust and his familiarity, obviously, with those clubs for a long time?
Yeah, so, well, one of the things that you can do now, Mike, is you can order your wedges without the nickel plating. You can do that. Actually, Danny, you've seen mine. Mine are all rusty. I don't like shiny stuff. I like beat up stuff. And so you can actually do that. And I think Tiger has been messing around with that because it's supposedly, and I feel like it does, it makes that wedge just a tiny bit softer. And I like a little bit of a softer feel. And when you're trying to hit more precise shots with a little more spin, I don't want a softer feel in my driver, Danny. I want a softer feel with my wedges around the greens.
All right, final question. We got about a minute left. How do I correct my stance, Jay? I'm inconsistent with it. How do I know if I'm right? How do I know if I'm wrong with a correct stance?
Okay, so guys, check out your weight shift and when you're able to stand over the ball. Let's just say we're hitting a driver for argument's sake. We're a right-handed golfer. You got to load up that back hip, which means you're going to kind of squat down just ever so slightly, flex that knee a little bit, and load up that back cheek, that left. That for right-handed golfers, you're going to load up that right cheek. And when you come through the ball, you're going to transfer the weight from your right side to your left side, and you're going to want to plant that left heel, pivot on that left heel, knee, and hip, and spin the hips around. Everything's going to be facing the target. And if you can do that and maintain your balance, then your stance is good. If not, you've got to try to figure out how to get a little wider, maybe even take your front lead foot for right-handed golfers. It'll be your left foot and splay it a little, which means turn it towards the target a little. It just helps with your balance. You got to remember, the club head, depending on your handicap, is swung at a lot of miles an hour. And when it comes through, it's not easy to maintain that balance. But for good golf shots to go where you want, it's crucially important, Danny, to keep that balance.
Our thanks to Ian Woosnam, our guest earlier in the show, as well as Alonzo Byrd from the Ascension Charity Classic. Jay, great show, great advice. How do we end the show?
Danny, hit him straight, St. Louis.
Good luck with that.
I'm delighted to welcome the Amateur Players Tour to the Golf with Jay Delsing show. The APT team has worked so hard to establish a national golf tour for amateurs. Folks, don't miss out on this opportunity. If you love golf and ever wondered what all the fuss about tournament golf is, then this tour is for you. We just released the 2024 schedule, and it is a beast. There's 21 events currently in the metropolitan St. Louis area, with many more to come. But check out these golf courses: Paynes Valley, Ozark National, Stonewolf, Ambrier, Persimmon Woods, Gateway National, and a 36-hole event on Norwood's West Course, and many more. Okay, so the courses are certainly cool and nice, but what's really neat is the way the events are run and how they are run. The APT team does a fantastic job of closely monitoring handicaps and ensuring a good and fair competition. There are 5 divisions, a year-long points competition, major championships, elevated events, and much, much more. Right now, there are over 6,000 members in 41 different local chapters across the country, and all that's happened in just over 5 years. Join now and don't miss out on the best tournament golf in the country, run for amateurs by amateurs themselves. Go to amateurplayerstour.com. That's amateurplayerstour.com.
Hi, this is Adam Betts from Family Golf and Learning Center. At FGLC here in Kirkwood, we feature a double-decker driving range, 2 large grass tees with Tahoma Bermuda grass. You want to work on your short game? We have a short game area too, which features a 20,000 square foot green, 3 bunkers, and Zoysia surrounds. Also at Family Golf and Learning Center, don't forget about our 9-hole par 3 course, the indoor TrackMan simulators, and our performance center. If you're looking for the best golf instruction, regardless of skill, we can help. Find out more at FamilyGolfOnline.com. That's FamilyGolfOnline.com. Family Golf and Learning Center. We make St. Louis better at golf.
Daugherty Business Solutions has been enhancing the business of our customers for the last 37 years. How do we do it? Through our expertise in technology, better use of data and analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. We roll up our sleeves and collaborate. We build applications and effectively communicate with our partner clients to bring their goals and objectives to the finish line. Our award-winning Access Point program is a community game changer. With nearly 100 students in the program, mostly young African-American females are making between $55,000 and $60,000 per year right out of high school. That's right, $55,000 to $60,000 a year right after high school graduation. That's when they begin their training. CEO Ron Daugherty believes the talent is equally distributed, but access to that opportunity is not. So here's Access Point, providing more and more opportunity for those in and around our community. It's Daugherty Business Solutions.
For the best in Italian cuisine in St. Louis, look no further than Paul Manno's, located in Chesterfield. It's traditional Italian cooking, and their best ingredient? It's their tradition. It's cooking like Paul's grandmother used to make and like his mother still prepares today. There are no corners cut at Paul Manno's. From greeting you at the door to the pasta you'll share with your family, Paul Manno's is committed to bringing you their very best anytime you share a meal at their place. It's Paul Manno's, located in Chesterfield.